Welcome to Miss Eddie's Math Movies, where it's a cute to be a square. Today we are doing section 1.1, which is all about patterns. So here's example 1. We have to describe the patterns in the figure. I notice that I've got a triangle, a square, then a pentagon, then a hexagon. Looks like the sides are going up by 1. A triangle has 3 sides. A square has 4, a pentagon has 5, and a hexagon has 6. So that means that the next shape would be a heptagon, which has 7. I will do my best to draw a heptagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what's going on. We will come back to this example in class. Next page. All right, a pattern in numbers. Starting at 3, 6, 9. Well, we're going up. So we're either multiplying or adding. Let's check out adding first. If we add 3 to 3, we get 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. I'd say that we're going up by adding 3 each time. But we want to check just to make sure. 15 plus, yes, that is working. All the differences are 3. The difference between here is 3. The difference between 9 and 6 is 3. The difference between 12 and 9 is 3. Between 15 and 12 is 3. And 18 and 15 is 3. Each number is 3 more. So that means the next number would be 21. 18 plus 3 is 21. All right, let's see what's going on over here. 1, 4, 9, 16. Oh, we're either adding or multiplying or something else. So if we look, if we're adding, this would be plus 3. This would be plus 5. This would be plus 7. Plus 9. All right, 3, 5, 7, 9. It looks like we're adding odd numbers. So this is this works. This is 11. So the next odd number we'd add is 13. So it would be 49. So there's one way of looking at it. You may have noticed that these numbers are all really special numbers. They're perfect squares. 1 is 1 squared, 4 is 2 squared, 9 is 3 squared, etc. So that's another way to look at the pattern. All the numbers are squares of the counting numbers. So like we said, the next one would be 7 squared, which is 49. I want you to wait for class, and we will do this one. Let's go to the next page. All right, this is up to you. This is due in class. This needs to be done when you arrive in class. Sketch the next figure you expect in the pattern. All right, so notice the arrow. We got 2 things going on here. Let's just worry about the arrows first. All right, so the arrow goes up, left, down. It needs to go to the right next. I believe it's turning counterclockwise every time. So the arrow is going to go this direction now. Oh, I'm sorry. That would be to the left again. The arrow is going to the right now. And then it would be dark shading or light shading. Well, we see we go gray, black, gray. So this needs to be black. So I'll color this in as much as I can to appear that it's black. The arrow should be black. And the arrow makes a 90-degree turn each time. The arrow should point right, which is exactly what we drew right there. So I'll do a nice pretty one down here for you. All right, here's our last page. Write the next two numbers you expect in the pattern. So we're increasing again, so I'm thinking about adding or multiplying, most likely. Looks like I'm adding 2, adding 2, adding 2. All right. I always want to check the pattern all the way through to make sure that it's working. So I need to add 2 to the next one, but notice it's predict the next two numbers. So the next two numbers are going to be 13, and then when we add 2 to that, we get 15. So when we add 2 to 11, we get 13. When you add 2 plus 13, you get 15. That's how we ended with both of those numbers. Now let's not worry about the negatives right now. Let's just look at this pattern. 1, 3, 9, 27. So I could look at adding. I'd add 2, I'd add 6, I'd add 18. I'm not really seeing a pattern with adding. So let's think about multiplying. This would be multiplied by 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So we are multiplying by 3 each time. But notice that the sign is changing. That means that we're multiplying by a negative 3. Because a negative times a negative is a positive. A positive times a negative is a negative. And that's what changes the signs. Notice that the numbers switch from negative to positive in the pattern. This occurs when you multiply a number by a negative number. Each number in the pattern is negative 3 times the previous number. So when you multiply 27 by negative 3, you get 81. Negative 81. That makes sense in our pattern. Negative 81. Now we have to multiply negative 81 by negative 3. A negative times a negative is a positive, and 81 times 3 is 243. So the next two numbers are negative 81 and 243. Notice that worked really nicely. Negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. Here's the checkpoint questions. These are also due in class. So you have this section to do, and you have this section to do. We'll do this together, so don't worry about that. And we'll do this together, so don't worry about that. Well, that was today's lesson on 1.1 patterns. This is M Cubed signing out.